Now, KWWL Sports.
The Iowa State Cyclones came in as underdogs facing #1 ranked Kentucky. To slay this giant, Iowa State would have to overcome a talented team as well as a very loud and aggressive home Kentucky crowd. Now, in the end, the Wildcats would be just too much for the Cyclones. Iowa State hung in there for most of the game, but Kentucky eventually pulled away in the end. The Cyclones lose 87-71. Our own Mark Woodley was there and got reaction from players.
Well, John, you can't fault the Cyclones' effort. Every time Kentucky made a run in the first 30 minutes of this ballgame, Iowa State countered it. The last 10, though, it was just too much, and it was a rough ending to a fantastic season that brought Iowa State basketball back to relevance.
You know, it was a heck of a journey. You know, it didn't start off, very well for us. You know, we struggled early. But I think a lot of the fun is in the struggle and, in the journey. Coming together the way we did.
We overachieved, arguably more than any other team in the country as far as where we finished in our conference, where we were projected, and the number of games that we were considered underdog, and we won.
Talking to Cal after the game, and he said that that's the best game they played all season. And, when they're hitting shots like that, when they're still able to get out in transition and run, it's such a difficult team to beat. I'm really proud of our guys for the effort they gave.
And, of course, after a fantastic effort by Royce White tonight, the question on everybody's mind is he coming back next year? Well, Royce said afterwards he hasn't made that decision. He'll talk to Coach Hoiberg in the next couple of weeks, and they'll figure it out. In Louisville, I'm Mark Woodley for Iowa's News Channel 7.
The Iowa State women's basketball team also had their hands full taking on Green Bay at Hilton Coliseum. In the first half, the Cyclones looking to drive inside, but they pop it out to Lauren Mansfield, who hits it from downtown. Iowa State 7, Green Bay 11. Later in the first, a pass across court lands in the hands of Haley Christopherson, and she nails it from behind the arc with a hand in her face, but the Cyclones, they're still trailing. Iowa State trying to push it inside now with this lob pass to Chelsea Poppins. Heard her name a lot. She would take 2 points off the glass. The Cyclones at that point were behind by 10 points. It wasn't much better in the second half for Iowa State. Turnovers really hurt the Cyclones as they fall in the first round of the tournament, 57-71. Now, more Iowa teams will be hitting the hardwood tomorrow in the NIT tournament. The Hawkeyes will be taking on the Oregon Ducks tomorrow afternoon at 4. That game you will be able to watch on ESPNU. Now, in the morning, you can wake up and watch the Panthers take on the Drexel Dragons. Tip-off is scheduled for 10 in the morning. That game will be carried on ESPN. Now, before the finals in the NCAA Wrestling Championship began, Penn State had already locked up the team title. Iowa was in third, but they had 3 wrestlers left, each one with a chance to bring some hardware back to Iowa City. Tom Brand's wanting more out of his wrestlers, and he would get it from Matt McDonough. We start in the 125-pound championship match. In the second period, tied 1-1. McDonough would get the 2-point takedown and the lead. McDonough would hold on to those points for the win. At the end of the third period, his proud parents cheering him on. It's McDonough's second national title. But could the Hawks get another win? To the 141-pound weight class in Iowa, Montel's Marion. In the second period, Marion down 3-1, but he gets the takedown and ties it up. Kellen Russell from Michigan is up by 1 point in the third. Marion gets the escape after Russell wouldn't let go, and they are tied at 4. But #1 ranked Russell, just too much as he wins in overtime. That's 157 pounds. Next, we're going to 157 pounds. That's Derek St. John taking on Cornell's Kyle Dake. Dake is ranked #1 in the country, and he showed it in the first period. Dake takes down St. John for 2 points. Later in the match, Dake would again get away from St. John. This is in the second period, and basically that's all Dake would need. Dake wins 4-1. Now here are the team final standings. The Lions are on top with 128 points and 28.5 points, rather. Minnesota in second with 113.5 points. Iowa finishes their season in third at 130.5 points. Cornell is in at fourth with 90.5 points, and Oklahoma State wraps up the tournament in fifth with 66 points. Now moving on to hockey, the Waterloo Blackhawks hit the ice tonight against the defending Clark Cup champs, the Dubuque Fighting Saints. Dubuque is 4-2 against the Blackhawks this season, and they already clinched the division title. Inside Young Arena, the Saints and St. Patty's Day get on the board just 20 seconds in the game, but the Blackhawks respond midway through the first period when Mike Hunterbrinker lights the lamp to knot the game at 1 apiece. Late in the first period, Saints strike again. This time it's Kevin Morris who gets the deflection past Blackhawks goalie Stephon Williams to give the Saints a 2-1 advantage at the first intermission. The Blackhawks, however, would dominate the rest of the game. They pound the Saints tonight, 8-3. Just a whole lot of sports going on tonight, Bob. I'm out of breath.
Take a breath.
I know. It's just, done.
Thanks, John. We'll be right back.